Sahana vavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, take my love and let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Om Shri Sai Ram. So today there is a study guide that was prepared by the scriptural committee of the Sathya Sai International Organization, chaired by Dr. Suresh Govind. He actually sent the study guide and that was then distributed to all the centers. There were 9 letters in the study guide. They had given the theme, our inherent divinity. So many times Swami says that we don't know who we are. So we don't know who we are, but we go on asking, who are you? Who are you? We have seen that in many discourses, Swami asking. So our inherent divinity, hey, we are divine, we are divine, we are divine. So we have to confirm ourselves, our true identity. So that's with that theme, so how do we go about it? So those 9 letters were coined and it was shared. So we thought this is a good time to take up because we know we were doing Gita Vahini. I think it will be nice when Dr. Reddy does Gita Vahini. So we will take this one. So we'll be having the 9 letters so we could finish and then it'll be wonderful. So we also followed the guidelines what they have shared with us. What is this about is I think I asked, I think Shivali is going to read the first letter. There's a theme towards it. You could even see when it comes, we'll be discussing about it. The first thing is there are so many great saints have talked about, Ramana Maharshi, who's great Advaitin, Adi Shankara, who basically lived the non-dualism. Throughout the India, he shared that knowledge, and of course, are the Upanishads, if you look into it. And then we also had the Sutra Vahini. We discussed Brahma Sutras. Finally, everything, Kathopanishad, everything where it lands is to ask that one single question: Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? To find the answer. There are several paths to find the answer, and Swami discusses in these letters. So let's first hear what Swami says. That's letter 1 and then 2 and 3, but first letter 1. And then there are some points they have given which we will read out and discuss. And then once we know and we understand, we reconfirm who we are, then we go to the second letter, right? Okay.
The real ecstasy of God's name is the real fulfillment of life, embodiment of the divine Atma. Even if I am not physically present during the anniversary of the sacred temple of Gundai, which is a center for spreading devotion, I am filling all your hearts and I am enjoying its bliss along with you. I am bestowing my blessings. It is known to everyone that in the present world there is no fear of sin nor wish for merit. Sacred values like truth, righteousness, compassion, love, nonviolence, etc., are being fostered only in words, but not in actions. Peace and tolerance are like the distant islands that are lost. Every human being is craving for peace and comfort, but is not taking the necessary steps to attain them. Achievement is possible only when the thought of the mind, the word of the mouth, and the deed of the hands are unified. How can the right path be seen when words are confined only to the tongue? To those who are determined to thread only the right royal road, the nectar of singing the glory of God will be the path of flowers. It is a sin to sell the most valuable human life for the sake of the coal of mundane desires. Its real price is the ecstasy of God's name. That is the real fulfillment of life. In this Kali age, only the time that is spent in praising the nectarine name of God is valuable time. Instead of becoming crazy about mundane desires, it is highly fruitful to develop a taste for divine qualities. The name is the divine nectar that removes the blindness of ignorance and bestows pragnana and vijnana wisdom and enlightenment. May you be blessed with this nectar. May you acquire merit. Having been born, may you all hold on to this unique state firmly. Blessings, Baba. On the occasion of the 20th anniversary of Gundai Temple, 3rd February 1968.
You say, Valli. 3rd February 1968, 20th anniversary. That means 1948 he opened the Gindi temple, the Shirdi Sai temple. I was there, I think this year only, around September, September, October, I think I was there briefly. I mean, there was some flight, some transit time. So I was able to go just right there near the airport only. It takes about from the airport 10 minutes. It's a very beautiful temple. Uh, the good thing about this Shirdi Sai mandir, the statue is in black. Usually, all Shirdi Sai temples where you go, it's all white stones or marbles, but this is in black. So the Swami himself inaugurated. So beautiful that Swami is saying that I'm not able to attend, but the message what he gives and the power of name is very important. Swami talks about it. So there's points to consider. The two questions asked. Why do we find it difficult to have unity and purity of thoughts, words, and deeds? Have you faced such situations in life? What can you do better the next time such situations arise? Anybody wants to go first? Why don't you give the mic to her? Ravina aunty, please.
Sairam, I think the not having unity is because of within our own internal conflict.
The short answer. Best answer. Yeah.
I think the obvious too, just to kind of piggyback on the internal conflict is really the ego, because obviously it's the conflict is basically the attachment versus the detachment, and how we identify, and it's hard, especially, for example, I think the unity feeling that way. I think when we label things and we have that body consciousness, we already sort of separate ourselves a little bit, and we're kind of in that non-dual, or I guess dual sort of existence. But if we want to have true Advaita, then we really have to recognize that Atmic presence within everything and everyone, and that's difficult. Because again, as we talked about a lot in the last few weeks, our life is sort of that battlefield, right? And we're always going through these battles. But it's what do who do you listen to? Do you listen to the little I or the ego, or the big I or the Atma? And that's kind of what.
That's a good thing. Ego causes the conflict, and conflict causes this disunity of thought, word, and deed. Any other points anyone wants to add?
So Krishna, so the main problem is, of course, in everyone's life, almost every day, the friction between what is right versus what is needed at the moment. That's where we are having struggle, to have that unity, thought, word, and deed.
What is right and well,
What
very
is
powerful.
needed.
What is right and what is wrong, we don't know, and then because of that, we are not having the
What is needed at the moment.
what
right?
is needed
You are
at the
required to
moment.
perform something, whether it is right or wrong. You're just moving ahead and performing. It has to be done. What is needed? That means you may not need that, but someone else need. But you're supposed to perform your duty, right? So you have struggle there to choose between what is right versus what you should perform at the moment.
Mhm.
Little convoluted way of saying it's not saying what is wrong, what is right, wrong. That's how you usually say it, but what is needed at the moment. Okay, let's keep that thought going. But
So for that, I just want to share one thing. Sorry. Yeah. Especially the situations are so complex in life that to decide what's right or what should we do at that moment, they asked they asked in a different way to Krishnamurti, Sri Krishnamurti, one of the one of his participant asked and said, "It's very easy for you to tell all these teachings. If somebody comes and put a gun at your head, what would you do?" And so he said, very nice answer. People would have predicted, "Oh, I won't run," or "I would run," but he said, if you truly, honestly listen to these teachings, understand, then he said, whatever the moment comes, you will know what to do if you live these teachings. So that's I think the key point. Not only just the listening as an academic listening, but just to, infuse that true reflection, that mananam, I think.
if you live the teachings, then you know what you will do at that moment of time, which will be right as well. That's what Auntie is saying. Thanks, Auntie.
And Saira, and one more thing Swami is saying in the letter, your thoughts, words, and deeds, you have to be united, to do that. But same time, nowadays, people do not have a fear for sin. No fear for sin. They do whatever they want to do, and they're not wishing for merit. That's what Swami says, that if you are fear for sin, you think twice before you do something to hurt people in words or thoughts or in action. But if you don't have the fear, you don't care what is going to happen. So that's what Swami is saying, that think twice. If you don't have to talk, you don't have to talk. Be silent. And the same thing with the actions. Show your actions rather than your words. Show it from your actions. So if we can, what you're saying, that thoughts comes and then it infuse, and then do the actions too. Show it by your actions.
Anyway, it's a very nice discussion with the actions speak. one thing is about story is that story always when you say it, then you would understand a little bit details, but can have several examples in story. In this particular thing, I don't know whether you have heard about this story. There is a demon called Vritrasura. And this demon is actually came from the Agni, the fire god. When he came, he came through the worship of a Shakti Upasaka who worships the mother goddess. And such a powerful demon, he comes out. And what happens is this person, this Shakti Upasaka, was given the task. This worshipper is a good man, but he has been given a task by his guru that get this demon to go and attack the king of the Devas, Indra. So they know the Devas are good people. You know, the king is Indra. So this Vitrasura is a demon, of course. That's why he's called demon, that he to go and attack. So he ferociously goes, because his instruction from the person who created this demon is to go and attack him. So he goes. He attacks. This Indra is no match to this, even though he is the king of the Devas, he's no match to this demon. Vritrasura is so powerful, he couldn't do anything. He's going to lose. So what to do? This Indra is finally saying, "Oh demon, I don't know. I can't win you. But how do I win you? Tell me a path. How can I kill you?" So the king of Devas, Indra, is asking, "How can I kill you?" The demon did not even wait for a second and said, "Hey, go to this Rishi, Dadichi. He's a great worshipper of Lord Shiva. Great. Bring his backbone, the bone, skeleton, and then with that you fight. You will win me, you can kill me." Now this Indra was stunned. He's supposed to be the king of Devas. And then he's asking how to kill this demon, and the demon did not even wait and told the secret of how to kill himself. Nobody will tell that. Then this, even if you ask Indra, he will not say how to kill himself. Anybody will not say that. So he said what to do. Then he asked the second question, this Indra. "Hey, I asked you how to kill you, and you did not even wait for a second, and you told me the way to kill me, kill yourself. And I'm really surprised how, without any hesitant, and you're very happy also when you're saying it. A demon doesn't look like a demon's job. Killing others is killing yourself, you're saying it. So I wanted to find out what is the truth." Then the Vritrasura says, "Hey, this body is made for this purpose. I am the Atman." The demon is saying to King Indra. Vritrasura is saying. So I'm not going, it's not that this body will die, but I am not. Then, so go get him. I'm not worried about it. It was made, and some point it has to go. Whether you or Lord Shiva or somebody is going to come. And this is how it is happening. Every demon has to be born and then dead. Then, so I am not. So in our mind, we call somebody as demon. In our mind, we call somebody as devas. In our mind, we have already perceived this particular person is this particular quality is this and that. From a perspective, when you read that as a demon, I don't see as demon is a realized soul, the way that he's talking to kill himself, and then he's giving this teaching. Actually, Indra takes the teaching from him. Please give that knowledge. That is more important. And then, of course, he goes to the Dichi and then kills, gets his backbone and fights with him and kills him. The moral of the story is, as he said, action. Once we have the deep conviction that I am the Atma, then no problem. Then our action will be the right action. Otherwise, we will not know whether, as he said, whether it is right or not. Whatever action you do, it will be the right action. Whatever Swami does is the right action, because why we call him Dharma Swarupa? Whatever he does is right action, because he knows who he is. We don't know who he is, and whatever we do, then will be wrong only. Once we know who we are and do it, everything whatever we do is right. It's a very beautiful story. But again, this is about power of name. So we went a little off on that one, because the last paragraph is very powerful. Anything on that? I can go to the second question if there's no other thoughts on that first question.
So I just want to bring up one thing based on the story. I think that's why when we look at in a snapshot of anybody, any circumstance, anything, we can't really say good or bad. It's just so, who would imagine demon be realized soul to tell Indra? So same way, we don't know how many lives, how many depths each soul has, even though this moment they might be doing right or wrong for our judgment. But we can't. I think we just have to leave it for Bhagavan. And so there's no good or bad in the world. Everything is him. So how could there be good or bad?
So second question goes, why don't we get the promised ecstasy while chanting the divine name? If we make namasmarana, contemplation of the divine name, a regular habit in daily life, how will it lead to wisdom and enlightenment? It's a good question for young adults.
I'll talk about myself here. See, when we chant a mantra or a namasmarana, Om Sri Sai Ram, Om Sri Sai Ram, Om Sri Sai, most of the time, the mantra is coming from the mind. We are engaging the mind in that process of that name, which is good. Instead of the mind going here and there and to desires and attachments, and it is good to have the namasmarana going on back of our head. But what I personally realized is when I slow myself down and I'm fully present in the moment, and when I engage myself with love and with that one pointedness, okay, if I chant Om Sri Sai Ram or Hey Krishna, if I assume his form, and if I'm aligning myself with the Lord Krishna or Lord Sai, and I'm fully present in that namasmarana, that has thousands and millions of times more power and connection to the divine than just the mind chanting Om Sri Sai Rams. And in that moment, wisdom and enlightenment is the how to say, it's the fruit of that action. We don't have to crave for that fruit. It automatically comes. But the process of being completely aligned and involved and being present in that process of namasmarana is what we have to attempt on a daily basis, or whenever we are given that opportunity to
Regular sadhana. So going on chanting, you'll get promised ecstasy, you're saying. It's asking, why don't we get the promised ecstasy? Why are we not getting? Involve ourselves, okay.
And also our mind is so cluttered.
Mind is cluttered, okay.
It's so distracted so many ways. And to also to continue on what Sandhya said. So, right, the mind is cluttered. That's why we don't get that real ecstasy. Then once you do with sadhana, if you purify little by little by little by washing with the soap, our mind, once you get the chitta siddhi, even though the knowledge is infused everywhere, we can't grasp it until we get that purity of mind, right? So that's.
Any other thoughts? See, the first thing we need to really look at is that what she said is a very important statement, what Sandhya shared. So the mind needs to get, it's called nama ruchi. You have to have that taste. So first, initially people get initiation. I have seen people going and taking initiation. What happens is they say for a few days, after the night, they will forget about it. And then they'll go to another. Because the Swami used to give a very good story on that as well. So he had some issues, so he went to a Guruji, and Guruji said, you you play to Ganesha, and then you will remove all the obstacles, Then he has the Ganesha, and then he was praying. 2 days he did, and then nothing happened, so he wasn't happy. And then he was going somewhere, and then somebody said, no, why do you go to this particular person? And then they went to the other person. He said, no, why are you talking? Why are you praying to Ganesha? Pray to Subramanya, then it is better. Then Subramanya, he was playing for some time, and then nothing happened. Then another person told, Shiva, Mother, like 4 or 5 gods, and then Mahavishnu is the highest. Go Mahavishnu, and then they have Mahavishnu's picture like that. It was putting all the picture there, and then was doing Mahavishnu Prarthana worship, and then he was putting the incense stick, and the incense stick was going to Ganesha. Then he wasn't that happy, so he was trying to hide. And then Ganesha immediately appeared. He said, I was praying for you and you didn't appear, and then suddenly you appeared now. Because you considered that as a statue, you didn't. Now this smoke is, the incense is going to, the smell is going to me. You thought, okay, there's a presence of Ganesha, you thought. The moment you have that presence of Ganesha, I appeared. So even for that small thought, our mind is so fickle, and it's not. The greatest example in scriptures you can give is Swami always gives Sabari. How much every day she has been doing again and again and again. That Sri Lanka drama, what was played in this conference, international conference, I think they should put the drama. So beautifully did. As if it really transported that whole devotion. It's so inspiring that they put the Sabari drama there. So how much she was waiting, and finally it so happened after so many decades of that sadhana. So actually Narendra uncle asked that question. Swami, Sabari got immediately one, just she saw Rama in one time and then emerged. And we are seeing every day, and then Swami said that is the sadhana that she did, that pining, that I want to have, that pining is there, then you will do one time and that's it, will merge. So that's the amazing thing what she said. So mind, once it gets that purified butter, then of course, then the ecstasy will be with us.
But I have a question on what you have said, Krishna. I'm a little confused. I personally, I chant different god names. One day, morning is Krishna, afternoon I feel like chanting Subramanyeswar Swami. Like I keep switching between gods and goddesses and like Lalita Amma. And Annapurna. Like I switch quite frequently. But for me, whoever I chant, it's everything is Swami. I may not assume his form, but I am connecting with that universal consciousness, supreme consciousness. So in that case, Swami, if what Swami said is, why are you not drilling in one point, right? Why can't you have like a one pointed focus? How does that apply when if I'm whoever I chant, whoever I call on, it is him.
So the answer is, so one person, if you ask, you give idli for morning, afternoon, evening, they will eat. They are idli priyas. They like idli so much. Okay. But our individuals, idli won't work. They have, so one time they have Italian food, another day they will have different food, Indian food, different type of food. It is what is the taste of the individual based on their whatever their prarabdha karmas, whatever they have gone through. There's nothing wrong in doing that. But one important thing is that, like what Sri Krishna says, is the Shraddha, or Sri Baba says Shraddha Saburi. As long as that sincerity is there and that one pointedness, and we believe fundamentally it is only one God who appears in all these forms. It's beautiful. Many of the Narendra uncle's experiences, suddenly some of the things that really touched my heart. There are few, and one of this is this. Narendra uncle actually asked Swami about, he's putting flowers for Shirdi Baba, and then he put flower to Swami, our Swami. He told Swami that. Swami said, what is wrong? You can put your own picture and put flower to yourself. You are also God. What a highest Vedant with that kind of truth, only because he feels that he is God, Narendra is God, everybody is God, then it's not, it naturally comes for him. Okay, okay, you put yourself, you are God too. But the thing is that most of the people, the moment we see Bhagavan, suppose Bhagavan fall, then Swami is there. Why don't I see everybody as God? It's God only, but we don't see. That is our problem, not Bhagavan's problem. But get to that point by doing that, various ways are fine, but fundamentally we should, even Aima auntie, first initially, whenever she went, she was only looking and, praying, and then Venkatesha is her, wherever you go, she will. And then when it's so involved with Swami, wherever she was saying, it's only Swami she used to see. So it's totally fine, but fundamentally we should know there is only one God, and that God is omnipresent.
I just want to share
Yes.
personal experience. This happened quite a few times for me so far in last years and months. Whenever I grab flowers from my garden to offer to Swami in the morning, right? It is like you're connecting with him through that flower, or you're offering that flower to Swami. Quite a few times that flower falls because I have it in my handful. So sometimes the flower falls on my feet. The immediate thought that comes to me is worship the self that is there within. That thought comes to me. So when Swami told uncle that you put your own picture and worship, that it remembered.
Yeah.
I reminded myself of that.
No, these are all very, but that's only through the teachings Swami very well, right? So amazing. You wanted to say something, auntie?
I'm sorry. No, I'm just listening. I think I'm too engrossed in listening.
Very beautiful, yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, the second question about if you make namasmarana, because the two questions, actually second question has two questions in it. A regular habit in a daily life, how will it lead to wisdom? How do I have faith that it will lead to wisdom and enlightenment? We didn't talk about that one. We are talking about only the promised ecstasy and chanting. Anything to add on that one?
I think the first question, which leads to that purity of mind, that's the fundamental foundation to lead to second state.
True. Chitta Shuddhi. Purified mind.
For Namasmarana, I think the main story that comes to my mind is Valmiki. He was, I think everyone knows, right? He was a thief. He was a robber. He knew nothing. Yeah, he murdered. And he's just chanting the name, that too backwards. He attained salvation, and he wrote the whole Ramayana. So that means that much power. We don't know how much power is in that name. And if we can chant that name, like how Sandhya said, with even if we're not focused, we chant, it eliminates the other things that are going on. We may not realize later when we really focus on the name, then that power of that name, it's so much. So you start off with it just being a name, and there is power that we don't realize. And when we focus on the name, there is immense power that will protect us, and that will give us the wisdom and the knowledge, discrimination. So I think all of us have, when we're busy, I know all of us do some chanting we do. And without our realizing, it's protecting us, it's helping us. And when we actually focus and meditate and do that, how much more? So I think each one of us has quite a lot of power within us that we do not even realize. And that's how things happen. When our center does a service project or something, how wonderful we're able to attain great things because of our combined effort and the power within each one of us. So the name of the Lord is really powerful.
Man mein Ram, hath mein kam.
Also, when we are completely engrossed in the Namasmarana, we are not only cleansing our mind, we are generating immense vibrations which are filled all around us. And if we go to hospitals or if we go to office, whoever comes across us are partaking those vibrations. Upliftment is happening among the humanity without conscious effort. And these vibrations not only are present within our own space, but they are traveling to the cosmos, cleansing areas that needs to be cleansed and minds that needs to be changed. Rishis and Rishmunis are sitting in Himalayas and Arunachala mountains, meditating on the name and form, and the amount of...
the name is better than a mask. COVID-19.
Right. And the amount protection of positive vibrations that they are generating may be helping all of us. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so it's a very good story, Valmiki story. There are multiple stories. One Swami's story is very funny story that he always shares about the power of name is again, Narada story, that he goes to Narayana and asks, hey, what is the power of your name, Narayana? Then Swami puts all masalas in it. Then Narayana says, go and ask the parrot. So that Narada goes and asks the parrot, what is the power of the name Narayana? The moment he utters the word Narayana, the parrot just fell dead. Then he said, wow, what is to happen? This is so bad. What is happening here? He couldn't understand. He runs back to Narayana, says, oh, no, go to that. Just now that cow has delivered a calf. Go and tell the name to that calf. Then, okay, Belish again goes back and he takes the permission from the mother cow and tells the name, divine name, Narayana. And wow, can you please tell me what is the power of this name, Narayana? Again, the moment he utters, the calf is dead. He's very unhappy. He ran to back. Narayana, what is going on here? No, the king has just got a new son. He's just, the mother delivered, the queen delivered. Go and, you know what? You're going to put me into trouble. I go and tell, and then something happens, the king is going to be on my case. So why are you putting me into trouble? And then Narayana says, no, you go and tell. Then same thing, he goes to the king, takes the permission of the king and queen. They were so excited, Narada is here, and who wouldn't want to see the greatest devotee of the Lord, Narada himself, to be there to initiate the child, and the child is there. And to the prince, he is telling, what is the power of this divine name, Narayana. With so much excitement and happiness, this prince, the baby tells, you didn't understand even now, within a day, not even 24 hours. I was a parrot, I was a calf, and now I'm basically a prince. And then now because you chanted, I know the now divine way to get realized. What else it is? So the power of name is definitely is. The thing is, we need to have the faith. All these stories are there to give us that faith. Even in the scriptures, in Bible, also it is many times Jesus says that through my name, through me, he tells, just even that comes and asks that Jesus about his servant. He tells, go back and your servant will be cured. And that man says no, he just believes in Jesus, and then within a minute that servant is cured. So what all we understand from these stories is that to give that faith in us, so that we will continue to chant and perform the sadhana. But once we start doing it, without doing it, nothing is going to happen. On doing it, then we will see the change in ourselves. Intention, attention.
Sairam, can I share one quick thing about after I heard the story? I heard about the story. That's power of satsang, right? So this is the power of satsang. Just us sitting and talking about the highest knowledge. One thing also I heard also that story tells, Narayana story. Once you're in this path, it seems like you're sometimes bombarded with all these challenges. And I said, what? I'm here, but I'm really at your feet. But what are all these? Look at in that story, how that could, because this is it, right? We're at his feet. He's going to compress my 100 lives into this to get through it, to give that knowledge. So that's why I think that power of, Thank you.
Didn't even go to the second letter, Shivalli. The next time. Good job reading. Thank you for reading. And I think it's time for now, and then we will take the second letter next week. Next week is Christmas, 2 weeks from me. 2 weeks from now. Thank you, Jai Sai Ram.